Hello everybody, Christian Gamer here, and ocean episode of Pokemon Conquest. This is going to be the end episode of Pokemon Conquest, and I'll go a little more into that in a couple of seconds, but first I wanted to say, that apparently my time ultimately was, 26 hours and 50 minutes of gameplay, which is pretty good, actually. A pretty good amount of time, I'd say. Probably longer than most normal playthroughs of Pokemon Conquest, but I did end up having to do a good amount of stuff in it. I'm going to actually do this in the gallery because if you stay on this screen for too long, it will start the introduction thing, and I don't want that going on in the background, so I'm just going to come over here and have Eevee staring you guys in the face. Okay, so I know there might be a question of why I didn't just say my feelings for things in the last episode since it was so short. And the honest truth to that is I just want to have an end episode because I just kind of feel like that's it's something I did for Typo Man and for Steven Universe, and it's just something I kind of like doing, so I want to keep doing that if I can. So that's why I'm doing it here. And I know that I know it doesn't have any gameplay, so it might not be super interesting, but I still want to do it anyway. And I'd like to do it like this, and kind of just this format of things. So yeah, Pokemon Conquest. We've beaten the game, won the main story and the second story, and let's see. I don't actually remember what I do for end episodes, so we're just gonna kind of go into. I'm just gonna talk about how I felt about it. I guess I think that's the main point of this. Yeah, that's what I've been saving up for. So I really enjoyed this Let's Play. Honestly, I had a really fun time. There were some frustrating moments, but mostly it was just due to really bad luck. And there were some really funny moments too. I did not anticipate Hideyoshi killing Nobunaga. I've never seen that before in my life, and that was hilarious. Honestly, by far one of my favorite episodes of this Let's Play was that, because I really didn't see that coming. Or the fact that I technically never beat Nobunaga. He died by fire twice, and neither of the times was actually by me. I just got him low enough to die by the fire. So that was pretty fun. And there was some legitimately, like, I know I didn't actually fail any of my defenses or attacks, but there were some fights that I was legitimately worried about. The game did end up being easier than I originally anticipated, which doesn't surprise me too much because I usually over-prepare for things. But there were still some challenging fights. I think the Steel Place, Velora, I want to call it, was pretty tough. And there were a couple of other fights that I was like, this could be hard. I was really worried about Nobunaga's first fight. That one, Dragna, I was really worried about taking over that place. I was actually kind of worried about the fight on top of the castle, too, because I was not prepared for it. But that went a lot easier than I anticipated it going. The game was this was a first for me because I've done Mario and Rabbids where I mean I know I haven't finished it yet, but that's a whole different can of worms. We'll talk about that later. That's not important right now. But I know I did that, but in like Type Man and Steven Universe, I didn't speed up a whole lot or cut too much. I did a few times, but I didn't have to. I cut more than I sped up, and like I didn't have to grind any. And in Steven Universe or Type Man, you don't have to grind. I mean, Type Man has no grinding ability. In Steven Universe, you are always pretty much well prepared. Mario and Rabbids, I did have to do some speeding up or cutting, mostly due to me either missing something, having to go back to check it out, or just speeding it up because I was redoing a mission for like the 5th time. But like I had never really had to do something like this, where there are times that I was just not strong enough, so I had to speed up to get to the point where I would be strong enough to do some things. And this was a little bit of a challenge for me, not like in a really super hard way, but like there were times where I was just like, I'm not sure what to. Like, I wasn't sure how much training to do, how much was good. I wanted each episode to have some sort of content in it. And honestly, I was really thankful. I was really thankful to the Lord because every episode, pretty much, even just episodes that appear training, had something interesting and or funny happen. Like, there was a time where I was like, okay, nothing's going to happen this time, but then an Eevee showed up. I mean, we got a messenger to show up a few times. But we got attacked on one of them, and I was not anticipating an attack because I thought I had it set up well enough. Something interesting happened almost every time I did a training section, and I did not see that coming. the game did find ways to always make it interesting, and that was really cool. I didn't have to do a fight every single episode. It I didn't. It had its own way of keeping things interesting. Like even just the trainings where I just did fights, like when I actually just did the training, I still had some fun, like some random, like really bad misses, super effective critical hits or something. It was pretty. It was good. It was really good. I had a really good time. I really enjoyed it. I'm really hopeful that you guys enjoyed it, and praying that you guys enjoy it as well. Um, and I just, yeah, no, I really liked the game is a lot of fun. Although I do have to admit, the beginning of the game is tough. Like linking does make it a little easier, but the real thing that you want to get is that delegation. Whoo, delegation makes this game a lot easier, especially let's playing wise, because like controlling everything would have taken so long. That would have made this a lot harder to do for let's play. So I was really looking forward to getting delegation. There are some things, though, that I didn't even know about this game that I learned via doing this Let's Play, and that is what's really cool about Let's Playing games, in my opinion. You almost always can learn stuff about the game. I don't want to keep tangenting, well, not tangenting, but going off on rabbit trails, that's what I'm looking for. I don't want to keep going off on, like, a rabbit trail about my other games I've played, but I do want to say that, like, with Steven Universe, I did find some things that I didn't know about the game before. Had some new glitches anyway. Type Man, I had a new glitch happen that I'd never seen that game glitch before. Um, and yeah, I've learned new things about each game, and this is included in that because I did not realize you could have random events happen in the main story. I never really had them happen. I've never really had random events happen. And I also don't usually get turned back by Kenshin. So that was new to me too, and that's a part of the story, but like due to the fact that I'm usually over leveled, I think they just let me do the fight typically. I don't remember. I just know that I've never really I don't always have to do the defense against him. I don't always get the level up that you get. The whatever they call it for warriors. I don't always get it. But I did this time, and I kind of learned that that's how you're supposed to do it, that's how that's supposed to work, which is kind of interesting, actually. Pretty cool, actually. That's not the only thing, though. I mean, one, I learned about Hideyoshi being able to actually kill his leader, which I didn't know you could. I didn't know that would happen. But that's not the only thing. Like I said, the random events, I did not know this was happening in the main story, and that is pretty cool. I got to see some pretty cool random events happen, like the merchant and the Eevee. The Eevee I did not know happened, and that was really cool. Like that was pretty awesome. And just I learned some stuff via looking it up. For instance, Kenshin and Shinjin joining you every time I didn't remember. Not to say I didn't know it. I've beaten the game before. I definitely knew it. I just didn't remember it. And yeah, okay. Well, another example of something I learned: golden background characters. I did not know for sure. It just said special conditions. Me and my friends never fully got what it was. I think we guessed that it was killing with the main character, but we never fully knew for 100% sure. And in this Let's Play, I pretty much proved it to myself that it is for a fact you have to do it with a golden back with your main character. Golden background characters need to be defeated within the time limit and by the main character. So that was a pretty nice thing to learn, I'll admit. I'm glad I now have that knowledge under my belt. But it is another example of something that I learned that I wasn't actually super aware of. I tried out a bunch of stuff. The tree, I didn't remember. I never used the ability pool or whatever it was. It's not called that, but it's like, you know what? You know, the place where we changed Darmanitan's ability. I never did that. I never used a lot of these things, and I know I used them only once in game, but they are actually pretty useful. I'm a very conservative player with all games. I always hold on to stuff usually, so that's why I don't use these things a whole lot. But they definitely came in handy when I used them. I I I learned stuff about the base game that I didn't even know. Like that's what's funny to me. Like you know, Shinjin, Kenshin, and joining you, I didn't know that, and that's literally a part of the story. I didn't remember it. Not that I didn't know it. I didn't remember that. And then I learned about the tree and the pool and the lightning rod thing. I just find it funny that I learned stuff I actually should have probably known, but I didn't. And some things that I didn't know that I don't think I was necessarily bad that I didn't know it. For instance, I thought that Eevee only could evolve into Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon. I didn't realize that there was an option for Glaceon, Umbreon, Espeon, Leafeon, all of the other ones. I didn't realize you could get the other ones, which is a pretty cool realization to have, actually. I learned that by looking stuff up to figure out which Eevee evolution I wanted, because I wasn't actually really sure which one I was going to go with. And I'm glad with the two I actually ended up getting. I love Jolteon and Flareon, so I don't actually really care for Flareon as a Pokemon in of itself, but I like Flareon's design. I really like Jolteon. And yeah, I mean, like I said, I learned stuff via research. For instance, I never thought Vaporeon would be that good for this game due to Zekrom, but apparently Vaporeon is one that a lot of people like using, which I didn't see coming. That was pretty cool. I didn't use it myself this time because I didn't think that was what I was supposed to use, but still, I got some knowledge of other people's what other people have done and what other people have found out about the game, which kind of helped me bring this here. I kind of helped me do the Let's Play because I knew what I was looking for. For instance, the evolution thing. I was curious if you could keep saying no, if that was dangerous, and it's not. Even if you max out the link, you can still evolve. So I learned a lot about the game throughout this Let's Play, and that's really, I really like that. I like learning new things about games. I do, especially games that I've already played, and thought I knew a lot about. And it was fun to come back to this because I haven't played Pokemon Conquest in years. I'm not even exaggerating with that. I really haven't played in years, and that probably showed, especially during the beginning of the game, and towards later on when I didn't remember what was going to happen next. I really haven't played the game in years, but it was a lot of fun, and if I'm going to get into that, I got this game, and I was really excited for it. A Pokemon game like this. I'm a huge fan of Pokemon. I got out of it for a little while. I'm getting back into it now, but I got a little Pokemon out. But I'm getting back into it, and like a long time back when the game came out, it was really cool to me because I was a huge Pokemon fan, and I loved games like this. This strategy type game is it's one of my favorite types of games. And Pokemon combined with this, that I didn't know how good it would end up being. There was a lot of unsureness going around about how good the game would end up being, but personally, I was not disappointed in this game. Not at all. Well, okay. Not at all is a bit of a lie. I was slightly disappointed in the links of the main story. Because I beat the game pretty quickly, not in a day, which I actually had a friend do, but pretty quickly I beat the game, and it probably a week or two, within that time frame. And that, I was kind of like, oh man, it's already done. It was such a good game though, because that's the kind of thing, right? You want to play a game where you get to the end, and you're like, wait, I want to keep playing, I want this to go on longer. It's a sad feeling when it doesn't, but you want to play a game that's like that. That's the kind of feeling of I want to keep playing this game. That's the kind of game you're looking for usually. And I was disappointed until I saw that. When you see the extra stories, and I'm a story lover, so when you see extra stories, right? And you're a guy, and you're a person who really likes stories, you are ecstatic about this. And also, if you really just like the gameplay, you'd be ecstatic about this. And so I was really happy that there was more to this, because I was kind of worried there wouldn't be. I will not say I'm not a little... I guess I can't say I'm not disappointed in the game at all, because again, slightly disappointed in the links of the main story, although I guess if you do it like this, the main story will take you a little while, but... I was slightly disappointed in the links of the main story. I actually don't think it's too short when I played it this round, but differing of opinions, that was years ago when I first played it. It really depends on how you play the game. Point of it is, I'm not super disappointed in this game. There's nothing that in this game that really I'm like, oh, I'm disappointed in this. I really loved this game. This game was a lot of fun, and when I got it, I had a lot of fun. And the only real things that disappoint me is was the links of the main game, and I'm not even sure if that's true at this moment. Not really. And the repetitiveness of some of the side stories. The side stories are fun, don't get me wrong, but they are repetitive and also very hard. So some of those challenges, way too much for Christian Gamer, or at least young Christian Gamer. So, I don't know, that's just... I guess I can't say I wasn't disappointed at all in Pokemon Conquest, but I was impressed with the game, and I thought it was a lot of fun. So I'll put it like that. And like I said, I really, really enjoyed Let's Playing it. It was a lot of fun, and I had to get my feet back because it had been a bit, when I first started this game, it had been a bit since I had recorded, and so I kind of had to get back into the hang of things, but I had a lot of fun. And I honestly gotta admit, I like doing the voices. I don't know if that irritated you guys or not. But I did enjoy doing the voices. I had fun doing that. Reading the text and talking is hard to do. I figured that out in Mario and Rabbids because I can't really pay attention to both. So I'm thinking I'll probably do something similar to this in the rest of the games I Let's Play. So hopefully that's something to look forward to and not something to dread. Speaking of that, hopefully we do games where I can actually read, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I do really think it would be fun, though, to not look up the right pronunciations of the places and people, because my mispronunciations had to get some laughs out somewhere. It got laughed out of me sometimes, so I hope you guys laugh too. Oh, man. I'm not good with names. Ultimately, I would rank this game really high. And I would recommend it to people who are fans of Pokemon, but also fans of this style. Top-down, turn-based strategy role-playing games. I would recommend it to people who are fans of that. I really would. I really think this game is a lot of fun. And honestly, I really wish there was a sequel, because I would play so much of that sequel. And see, the best part is that you guys could get this game and play it for yourselves and have a completely different team than me. And not just because you use different warriors or play differently, but also because some of the people you get are random. Some are not. The setup for each kingdom is the same, I'm pretty sure, every playthrough, first time round. However, the people you get, I'm pretty sure are random otherwise. I could be wrong. I don't actually know, but even still, you will get a different gameplay because you will get a different game because you'll play it differently. You won't be. You'll have what you watched me do as knowledge ahead of time, but also you play the way that you want to play it, and so I think that's pretty cool for a game. I highly recommend that you guys check this game out. It'd be a lot of fun. I'm sure if you enjoy this style of game, you would like it. And you don't know what random events will happen to you. You might get something I didn't. In fact, you probably will. That's just the way this goes. And you can do those side stories. I'm not going to get into that here. I got into that in the last episode of the main series, but you could do them for yourself, and those are different. So there's a lot to this game. And I really think more people should play it. I don't think there's a whole lot else I want to say, except one more time, I'm repetitive, I know, but I really did enjoy not only playing this game, but Let's Playing it for all of you. And I really appreciate all of you watching this. So I think with that, I'm gonna end off this episode. So thank you all of you who watched not just this episode, but the entire Let's Play, because that means a lot to me. So, thank you so much for watching. And this is Christian Gamer, signing off, and praying that you have a wonderful week.